All right, good evening. So, at this channel, we're looking at some other people in the Idaho 4 case. Of course, there's the numerous Joe, Big Joe Jabola, hoodie guy, the ex-boyfriend. But are we missing something? Are we looking at, in the food truck, which we're going to take a look at the food truck video here. In the food truck video, there are people standing against the building in the back that you can't see. It's real dark. And there is somebody that comes walking up that caught my interest after the girls ordered their food. They came up and said something to hoodie guy, and then turned around and started staring at the girls, looking at them. So, there's the guy that was picked up around there for peeping Tommen that had scratches on his hand or something like that. Or there's the 3 college kids that were stopped by the police in the field. There's a white vehicle they're looking for. They're looking for a lot of stuff. Other questions have submerged. Who were the 4 or 5 guys that showed up there, got out of the van? It didn't have federal plates or government plates, and went inside the house. And they didn't want to be seen. They all were had their hoodies on. One had a big old Texas cowboy hat on, right? A lot of people were they FBI, were they police, were they? Well, I don't think they were FBI. FBI usually in something like this, they show up with jackets, hats that say FBI, or at least badges around their neck. These guys didn't have nothing. Maybe they're private investigators. Maybe they're undercover cops, but still without undercover plates or anything, government plates. I doubt it. It's something more than that. Who knows? A lot, in which I did bring up. Were they hired to come in maybe by the owner of the manager of the management place that rents the home for the people? Did they go in just to leave their DNA in case it did come up in that house? Then they would have an excuse. Well, yeah, we went there to check out something, right? Someone called us. They'll give you any reason or any lie, but is it possible? There was no security guard when them guys went in there. I didn't see one out in front. So, is it possible they went in? Hurry up, get in there, spread some DNA in case it comes up. We'll tell the people you're police or FBI or whatever. It's possible. But I've been looking at a couple other people. One person is involved in another crime that is all over YouTube. That is from Idaho and possibly went back to Idaho. Had enough time to get from where he's wanted for or questioning for another case to back to Idaho. So, and then we're looking at a couple other people that are in the food truck video. Other than Big Joe Salona or whatever his name is, the Hawaiian big guy or whatever they're calling him, and hoodie guy, right? Because the police are saying they cleared both of them. So we know that they'll tell you anything, right? So maybe we look at some other people involved. So let's see if we could see you. Let me see if I could bring up Make sure you check out the New York Post. Let's see if we can see. All right, the girls come walking up. There's old hoodie guy. And let me rewind that because I just want to make sure and prove that uh, they came up together. He was in between both them girls. No, we got a lot of people behind here in the back. So let's just look here. Okay, here's long hair Fabio with the hat turned back. One guy. Joe's talking to a couple people over here. But I think Joe was there with this guy, maybe. Maybe Big Joe was with this guy, right? All right, here come the girls. We got Kaylee on the right side of hoodie guy, and Maddie is on the left side. They come walking up around the food truck, and there they are. Split. Hoodie guy walks up. He stands and turns around. He takes his hat off, which was backwards, flips it around, puts his hood up. Now, it was a cold night. Could it have been cold? He wanted to put his hood up, and he couldn't put his hood up because his hat was turned backwards, so he flipped it around. Sure, very well possible. My brain, with all the stuff I've been watching and the madness, could have been assigned to the killer that he showed up there. The target was there. Could be. I don't want to go there. I think it was just cold. All right. Now here's hoodie guy in the back, right? Here's this guy standing here. He's checking out either the girls or Big Joe Salona and Fabio dude with the hair, right? All right. Now I'm going to back this up a little bit. This guy right here. He's got the black sweatshirt on. He's holding something in his hand. But what they did was cut out that part where he came. Okay, they cut out the part where this guy comes walking up and says something to hoodie guy. And he's standing over these people's shoulder. He's checking out the girls. And then it looks like he's checking out over here by Big Joe, right? So is it possible that it was somebody else that maybe was following them on an app, on their phone app? Possible. Hello, Justice Janie. So we are looking at other people. Am I looking at that guy that is involved in the Monkey Vaughn case? That is from Idaho, and they're looking for him in the Monkey Vaughn case. Could he have went back to Idaho? I don't know. You know, we're looking for other things because people are so focused in on one thing. It's this guy and it's the ex-boyfriend. It's this, that, this, that. It's so early in the case. We might be missing something else. We might be missing somebody that walked up in that video. No, right before the girls take off, before they ditch hoodie guy, a guy on the other side where they're standing waiting for their food comes walking around. carrying a cell phone. He walks behind Jack or a hoodie guy and Big Joe Jabola or whatever his name is. And he stands and turns around and looks back at the girls. So maybe we're missing something. No, I'm not saying that it ain't hoodie guy. I'm not saying that it could be Big Joe. Maybe Maddie was, or maybe Maddie was telling him "F you, Mister." Right? Well, what I can't get is why would he? Why would she call hoodie guy Mister when they all knew each other? They were friends on social media. They showed up at the food truck together. Did did Big Joe say something to irritate Maddie? Maybe. We don't know. We weren't there. The Maddie was drunk out of the both of them. I think Maddie was the drunkest. Maddie's the skinnier one, right? I believe so. I believe she was drunk because she was stumbling all over. Kaylee, well, she couldn't keep off the phone the whole time she was in video at the food truck. She was on her phone. There's got to be some kind of data, something there. Let's see what Justice Jane has. Wasn't Jack Decor there at the food truck? Jack is the hoodie guy, what they're saying. There's another Jack. There's 3 or 4 Jacks, and there's a Jack John they're bringing into it. A Jack John, because I guess John Kennedy was called Jack. His real name was Jack. His middle name was John or something like that. So maybe, but there's 3 Jacks or 4 Jacks involved, or how many Jacks? Who knows? There's a Jeremy, the next door neighbor, that walked the dog and said he has been to the house before. Could it have been the management team that runs the place or takes care of it? I guess the house is rented out. Some management team owns it or something. So is it possible? Yeah. Yeah. It could be any of these people. It could have been somebody that was in another crime and just went nuts. Maybe went back to Idaho. Maybe I know they are looking for them 2 guys in the Monkey Vaughn case. Now, one of them dudes, they're saying ain't right and was from Idaho and might have returned. They believe he's in Spokane, Washington, but he might have returned back to Idaho. Maybe. There was another dude, James, that got picked up out there the other day for peeping Thomas. Could it have been him? It could have been. But let them do their job. They'll figure it out. I'm interested too to see who was there today in that van. Them 4 guys got out, or 5 guys, and walked right up to the house, walked right in. I didn't see no security there or nobody, no police or nothing. So, I don't know. And there was a coded lock on the front door, and there was blood on the roof in the video I seen, and a ladder right underneath where the blood was. Is it possible he came in from one way and left another? Possible. You don't know. In a rage, in a mad rage. Who knows? A killer might have got spooked and went out the window. Maybe there was already people dead when the 2 girls got home, Kaylee and Maddie, and he got spooked and went out onto the roof and sat and waited, and then went back in and killed more. Maybe. I'm just giving. I'm just trying to help, man. Is it possible they taped the locks? How did they get into the bedrooms if they were coded locks or even key locks? And supposedly the girls had coded keypad locks on their bedroom doors because there was always parties there and people walking around. How did they get in them bedrooms? Now either they had to be either there was more than one and they had to be waiting for these young ladies to get home, and Ethan and who I don't know, Ethan and Exania might have already been home, or it might have already been killed, and the girls, Maddie and Kaylee didn't see it, and the killer was already in the house or waiting. I don't know. I seen a photo of the roof on the front uh, floor. All it is an easement. So when you walk up to the front door, you don't get rained on. It's a small ledge, maybe 2 foot wide, runs across the front of the house. Uh, there's another roof right above that where one of the girls' bedroom windows is. It's very possible on the second floor he exited out the window. Let me see what Justice Janie's got to say. There is a Jack Showwater. Show Showhalt is his name. Jack Showhalt. I think it's the ex-boyfriend, Jack Decor. Well, one of them Jacks lived right behind the house. So much so that the line of sight lines right up with her bedroom window. So, is there a reason why she slept in Maddie's bed? Did Kaylee know she was being watched? You know, maybe at maybe Jack, the ex-boyfriend, still watched her from his home, which was right behind Maddie's house and Kaylee's house. And very well, when two people are dating and it's sexual or it's almost like uh, exciting to some people in a relationship to have their lover watching them as they get undressed or whatever. I mean, could it have been something like that? But maybe there was more people than just her boyfriend Jack that was actually watching her through her sliding glass doors in her bedroom that equaled up with the line of sight that someone could be watching these young ladies from behind the house that had a perfect view into the kitchen or Kaylee's bedroom. Were they a lookout uh, to, hey, when them lights go on, we know they're home. Then you can send the person over there or whatever. There's a lot of interesting things, but we are looking at other people on this channel. Yes, they are all innocent till proven guilty, and they are all suspect. Even the guys that showed up today in that van with the cowboy hats on it are now suspects in the case, unless the FBI comes out or a sheriff's department and says them were our guys. If not, they're now suspects. They could have been spooked, knew they were going to get caught because the DNA was going to, they might have had DNA, and they wanted to get in that house to say, we had nothing to do with it. But, well, why's your DNA in the house? Well, because we went there because such and such told us to. My mind's going 240 here. The way Kaylee's dad looked at Jack Decor on the stage, that did it for me. Yeah, I seen that. There's a lot of people thinking now, even some high up ex professionals now that are looking at the her father saying something ain't right. He's not acting right. He shouldn't be doing the things he's doing. And I agree. I don't know who's he talking to. They didn't have to go get me an alpha. You know, don't make me do it. You know, someone, I need an alpha. Stand up and do this. Don't make me do. I'll do it myself. You know, that's what he said. Is he going to kill himself? You know, do they? Hopefully they have him on suicide watch. Who's he? What's he talking about? Where's Alpha? You didn't have to go up the steps and all this and the crime. The autopsy ain't matching. Well, I doubt it if the killer killed both girls the same way. I imagine if they both were in the same bed, as he was killing one got spooked and heard it and jumped up and actually fought. That's why there would be more wounds. That don't mean she was targeted. No, I'm not saying she wasn't targeted, but that don't mean just because one person has more wounds that they were the target of this whole thing. I don't know about that. I can't say yeah with that because it could have been just the people that got the worst wounds are the ones that tried fighting back. They might have been awake when this happened. There's a lot of misinformation out there, folks. I watched a video today that said someone came out and said all the killings were on the third floor. You know, that didn't make sense. I just watched a video that said 2 were killed on the second and 2 were killed on the third. Now they're saying all of them were killed on the third floor. I don't know about that. Social media, it's good at a point and it's bad at a point because we don't know the facts. We don't have the crime scene photos. We got leaked photos of in the house that we can see blood all over the kitchen cabinets. You know, how'd that blood get there? Where was Ethan found? Where was Exania found? Were they killed in the kitchen? It looked like there was enough blood dripping down from the kitchen. You know, how does blood go through a wood floor, then a subfloor, then a 3/4 inch plywood floor? How does it soak through all that within 3 or 4 hours? It don't. How did that get through the mess that it created? Dripping through the ceiling into the kitchen, folks, or down the vents in the upstairs and into the how does it soak through that fast? Unless the people that built the house skimped on everything. No sill plate foam, meaning water and air can get in through the sill plate where the foundation meets up with the wood of the house, the floor, which should have been foam sill, 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch sill foam seal. So they don't let bugs in, drafts, rain, wind, snow, but numerous things, you know. Who knows? Who knows? I think about, you know, and it was a 5-hour window. Within 5 hours, that blood soaked through the ceiling, the wood floor, the subfloor layment on it, and then the either 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch tongue and groove wood that stabilizes the whole house. The tongue and groove on the second floor or third floor is to keep the place stable. It helps lock everything in. And that's usually 3/4 tongue and groove, or at least 1/2 inch tongue and groove. So, yeah, how did it get through all that? I don't know. I like Steve Gonzalez for talking up his daughter and none others. He's a father. He has a right to. Yeah, he does have a right to. I would be too. I would be talking about good things about my kids. I wouldn't be talking about the case though, but I would be talking about how much I love them or whatever. I didn't even really know them, but whatever the case may be, forever family, every family is different, their situations or whatever. We don't know the insides of the family. There's a lot of people saying that it could have been something more to it with the way Steve was looking at uh, Jack at the, what was it, a visual or whatever. You know, I don't know. There could be something to that. There could be, we're dealing with a bunch of college kids that are hooked on horror crimes, Scream and all this, and they're practicing devil worshiping or whatever, and college campuses or whatever. Yeah, who knows? We really don't know, folks. Until the case is over with. They need to find out what them three kids were up to, and what time did they release them three kids that were in the field. They need to find out where that dude James was that was picked up that night for peeping Tom, and what time was he picked up? Or no, he was picked up a couple days later for peeping Tom and in that area with scratches and stuff all over his arms. Might have been. And then you got the handprint on the window, which to me looks very, very small. Very well could have been one of the girls. You know, maybe they got, maybe that was the window that all the roommates knew. If you get drunk and you forget the code to the house to get in, you can get in through one of the windows, maybe. You know? I've been watching a lot of videos, and they've been saying there's a lot of radical groups up there, uh, up in Spokane and Idaho, that whole area around there. Could it have been some radical group or something, some killer crazy man or something from another town and just came down? I don't know. We have to look at everything, right? Yeah, right. Somebody might have got his name mixed up and thought it was Gonzalez, but really it was Goncalves or Concalves or whatever. Maybe, maybe they got. I don't know. There's a couple people I'm looking at in the food truck video. Some things ain't making sense. One of them is the girls show up at the food truck with hoodie guy. They know him. They know his name. They dated him, right? Supposedly, or one of them did, or ex or whatever. But it wasn't him. It was another guy named Jack, right? The hoodie guy in the video, right? That lived right behind her, supposedly, or I don't know, or didn't live behind her. One of them lived behind her. One of them didn't live behind her. Maybe he was just doing what he told Big Joe. Maybe he was just making sure the girls got home safe, or at least got a ride home from someone safe, right? The Perp is a serial killer from BC. He killed in Washington, or Wash, and now Idaho. His MO is sneaking into houses where he stabs a woman in bed to death than with a large knife, 5 unsolved cases in 2 years. Maybe he might be a serial killer that was just passing through that town, that college. He might have been partying with the college kids at that college that night, at the bar that night. Yeah, well, I can't figure out if them dudes were FBI that showed up there today in that minivan, which you usually don't see. FBI show up in a minivan, right? You don't see that, folks. You just don't see that in a minivan. And if they are in a minivan, they usually have identification showing that they are FBI, whether it be a jacket, a hat, a badge around the neck, government plates, whatever. But there was no government plates on that vehicle. Now, could they have just gotten in there because they got spooked? Shit, they might have DNA. We want in that house so we can at least say we walked into the house to transfer their DNA to have an alibi why the DNA was in there. I just got done making a giant chicken. Excuse me, dinner. You don't jack shit about the FBI. You didn't even watch Ephraim Zimbal's show. Nope. Nope. Usually the FBI, when they're on a case like that and they show up and they want evidence or they want to look at things, they are pronounced, meaning you can tell it's FBI with either a plate or them guys are dressed up in FBI stuff, showing that it is FBI. They don't jump out of a minivan with cowboy hats on. I'm laughing because people are like, who were them guys? FBI. No, and I was in a chat today going, no, that don't look like FBI. FBI don't show up on a case, a big case, 4 girls and a guy killed, right? Or 3 girls and a guy. They don't show up in cowboy hats and hoodies. You know, come on. Come on. Really? Unmarked? Unmarked? Nothing on? Come on, guys. If that was FBI, they would have been out of that vehicle. They would have had fluorescent jackets on that. Any bit of light hit it, you could tell it's FBI. You know, they would have quarantined it off. They would have wanted gone in and got more evidence. And the killers might be watching and know they might have a leak within the system. And they know they're going back in to look for more evidence. So they want to get somebody in there. Why? To have an excuse of why the evidence wasn't. Why is your footprint in there? Why did the kids call up other people other than the police before they called the police or whatever, or after they called the police, they called people to come over and help or whatever? That more evidence inside the house, more people inside, more contaminating, more DNA left, more of a headache. And it's going to take a lot of time to go through all this evidence. People wake up tomorrow and the case is solved. It's been 5 years in the Delphi case. It's been 2 years or ever how long with the Summer Wells case. It's been a year with the Mikey Vaughn case. It takes time to get information. And then we're single people missing. Now you got 4 people dead. And you got to track all their phones. You got to track all their friends, family. You got to look at all kinds of things. It's going to take a while. Oh, they'll get the guys or guy or woman. This could have been a jealous woman. We don't know. Could have been a next door neighbor. They'll get the people. It's just going to take time. It's just going to take time. I'm just like the rest of you guys. I'm like chomping at the bit. What kind of a sick idiot or idiots are we letting run loose in our country? These ain't guys that are doing baby crimes, you know. These are stone cold killers, and they don't learn. They do it over and over until they're caught, because in their sick minds they think it's a game. They think it's some kind of a game. It's like Sheriff Carter in the Delphi case. These people think it's some kind of it's a power trip between the killers and the people trying to solve the case. You know, we've even seen people, law enforcement, go out and commit cases. Firemen go out and commit cases, starting fires and stuff, so they can put it out, so they can solve it. We don't know. I do know this. Around here, we're on DEFCON 3. We got orders to shoot, kill if anything even looks suspicious. Don't even hesitate. If they knock, you ask if it's the authorities. If they don't answer, start blowing holes, throwing grenades. And thank God Uncle Si showed us how to make napalm, because we are loaded down here. We're waiting for these idiots to come around. You know, I'm just joking. We ain't got napalm around here. Oh, God. No, just joking. Let me see what my chat said. Of course, I got nothing but the only one with brains is probably Paladina and Miss Justice for Janie. No. Lame Staley. I'm talking about a murder case, and who comes into my chat? Lame Staley. I should be very upset for you even making fun of one of the greatest rock singers ever. Lame Staley from Alice in Chains. But I'm not going to, because you have your right to make up your own names on YouTube. So I'll let you stay, but you shouldn't be making fun of Lane Staley. He was one of the greatest singers ever. God, I can't believe this is what kind of YouTube. Now I know what the other ones are. All the other YouTubers are saying. We're in here trying to solve cases, and you people are asking stupid, what are their socks, green or blue? You know, like, what? What did they have for breakfast? Oh yeah, we're trying to solve a case. At least we're trying to help. You know, we're trying to help. And we got people coming in right. Not Lane. I'm not talking about Lane Staley. I'm talking about other people that have been in. Well, I'm sure Justice Janie knows what I'm talking about. You know, you get people coming in your chat asking questions that have nothing to do with what your whole video is about, right? I don't know. This is what we're dealing with in America, folks. Well, you got to laugh about it, though, because if you watch this stuff 24/7, I'm telling you, the other day I looked in the mirror and I was like, it's a demon. I'm waiting for my eyes to turn black and me start vomiting out some kind of a green substance. You watch it so much, it'll possess you. Literally. I'm watching some women on YouTube that they're addicted. These cases, they're so wrapped up into these cases. They're so addicted. They're and their wives, their wives, they have a home to take care of, kids to take care of, and then a YouTube channel. They're strong women, but and some of the dudes, they got a job and everything, and got kids and everything, and they got a YouTube channel, and it's very stressful. And I don't know. They'll find the guys, or the women, or we don't know. It could have been a crazed woman. Believe me, I've dated a couple of them. You go to bed and one eye open, you don't know if you'll make it through the next morning, right? Most men got a tough rap these days. There's a lot of pressure on us men. Let me see what Lane Staley has to say. I love how everyone is worried about the community and the schools. What kind of gay ass crime channel are these? See, this is the kind of stuff because it's me too much of a great singer, Lane Staley. And that's what hurts me the most. No excuse for it. Lane Staley. Who gave you the right to even use that name? I hope Jerry Cantrell don't find out. He'll be pissed. All right, so there is a lot of questions going on, right? Who, what, where, when. It's almost like a Vinnie Barbarino in Welcome Back, Carter. Where, when, how. Where, when, how. We don't know where, when, or how. All we know is that we're living in a zoo. And it's about time that we hire police and government agencies that are going to patrol our neighborhoods and keep America safe again. God. That's the problem. We ain't got cops walking around or driving around the streets no more. They're sitting at Dunkin' Donuts waiting for a call to come in, right? They're not actually on the beat. 10-4, Mary 7. I got to take a pee break. And it's always a donut shop, coffee shop, right? And they'll just sit there and wait. We've seen it all so many times. Not that I'm trying to bad talk the police, but if we don't have the manpower, then Congress, Senate, give us the fundings we need to create unmanned police respond vehicles and observation vehicles. We're just trying to help you police out. We're just trying to help. We as citizens, we could be like, screw yous. It ain't our business, and it ain't our job. We don't get paid $75,000 and get free coffee. I can understand the citizens. This ain't our problem. That's what the police get paid for. That's what these politicians get paid to do. It's not our problem. I understand these people. Really, it's not our problem. I mean, it is because we're law-abiding citizens and we live in the country with all these animals running around. But really, I can understand what they're saying. Let the police handle it. And I'm one of them people. Let the police handle it. Let the FBI, Homeland Security, they will find out what's going on. But we got a lot of questions here at this channel. I'm sorry if I upset anybody. I really am. I really, really am. What's the other option? Well, the other option is they walked right in through the front door and made it look like they took another route out, maybe. Or actually did take a route out. They are looking at the front door. How do I know that? Well, because there was red tape all over the front door. That means something's going on there. Now, that red tape could be put there after every night. So the next morning they go in. If that red tape is broken, they know someone has been inside the crime scene. Might not even be evidence at all. Might just be a way to tell if somebody has entered that crime scene after the police have left. Does that make sense to anyone out there? Anybody? If they don't know who the killer is, do you think maybe there's a chance the killer might show back up there if the house is empty to try and cover up any evidence? Or maybe something he left there? That maybe something the police or FBI missed? Could that explain them 5 guys showing up at the house today in a minivan, unmarked, without government plates, dressed in cowboy hats and hoodies? We don't know. But I can tell you this much. We are definitely on DEFCON 3 around here. And we don't know how long it'll be before we go to DEFCON 1 or 2. We might skip 2, jump right to 1 with the madness that we're seeing. I have a leaky faucet. Is that supposed to be some kind of a Lame Staley spin-off of Stone Temple Pilots' Rusty Chain? That's because I have one of these water fountains in my front room, Lame Staley, and it just shut off. It was running. I got it set by the fireplace, and it's a waterfall thing. But good. See, these are the kind of people we need on cases. He heard the water running. Okay, he heard the waterfall going, and that's good. That's somebody that's paying attention to the sounds around. That's always good, right? You hear a video, you start hearing someone in the background screaming, yelling, whatever. You know, most people don't pay any attention to it, right? Then 2 days later, we see on the YouTube, a man was killed last night as I was on YouTube. You know, there's a new video out of the screams that one of the people recorded, and people are not buying it. They're like, well, it could be a fake video put out. The guy said he didn't hear anything, and now he's saying he did hear something, and he recorded it. Well, everyone was like, that I was in their chat, you know, everyone's like, well, we're not buying it. How could you be recording? How could? Well, I tried to tell the ladies and gentlemen, it could have been his security camera that picked up the screams. He didn't hear anything, possibly. He might have heard something, he said, but he wasn't sure until he probably went back and listened to his recording. It could have been a security system or a camera that was recording. And then he went back, and at that time, he might have heard screams. Is it possible? Yeah. You know, people got lives. They don't pay attention. They got jobs, kids. You know, the world we live in, you hear a little scream in a college neighborhood, you're going to think it's a party, probably. You know, which he probably did. He probably thought it was a party. But after he's seen it on YouTube, he said he went back and didn't know that they were talking about that, about the house. You know. Then he did go back, I believe they said, and listen to the recording. He believes he recorded it, the horrible screams. Now, I did see a video where somebody said that there was a team of people out there doing research, and somebody had a camera in the woods behind the girl's house. but it was somebody that was doing research for a business or something, or a geological thing, and they said that it's possible they picked up a girl running down the side of the building or something like that. Now I don't know if that's true, folks. There are so many fake videos out today. I don't know if that's true or not. But is it possible? It might be. You got to check everything, every camera around there, every ringtone, every whatever that ring cam, whatever, any gas stations around there, anything. You got to check everything. They'll get them. It'll just take time, folks. It'll just take some time. I wish we knew this much in the Summer Wells case or the Delphi case. Might have been able to solve it. But in the Delphi case, I believe it was many involved. It was a big sex ring or whatever, kitty porn or whatever them dudes were doing out there, probably. So I believe there was way more than just one. And, if you pay attention to the Indiana news, they have been picking up a lot of people down there in Lafayette, Delphi area uh, for stuff like that. So it might have been a big ring. Would I believe it if they came and said it was a giant ring and there was many people that were involved, but they didn't do the killings? Yeah, I would believe it. They've been picking up a lot of people. They were even looking at YouTubers on the Delphi case that had some connection or something. I don't know. So yeah, I would believe it. Sure would. But anything is possible, folks, in a murder case. When the mind is scared and has no place to go, anything is possible. Yeah. Why would someone do something like that? The only explanation I got for you folks is the devil, evil, drugs, madness, sexual fantasies that people can't control. Now some people, I've seen some videos, they're talking, it was an incel. I'm like, oh, these people are driving me nuts. An incel is a weather pattern. You know, now I guess incel means somebody that don't have sex voluntarily, and that's who did it. Was some person that don't have sex. That's which they labeled an incel now. I've been watching crime for a long time. I ain't never heard nothing on an incel. Well, this guy was an incel. Well, you mean he was in a cell? Hopefully a prison cell, right? No, he's an incel. Well, incels are weather patterns. That's what an incel is a weather pattern for the weather. No, this is a guy that don't have sex. He's celibate voluntarily. They call them incels. I'm like, what the incels? Come on, are you kidding me? Nope, that's what they call them, incels. Jackass with a knife. Might have been Jack. Very possible, Tony. Very possible. We don't know. Could it have been a screwed up hit? No, could have been. It could be numerous things. Now there's videos out there that one of the girls that lived in that house, her mother just got picked up for selling a bunch of drugs. Could it have been maybe the mother was a supplier to the college or to these kids? I mean, there's thousands of scenarios we've been going through. We don't know. We don't know. Let me see what Lane Staley's saying. I wish he would just change his name to Lane Staley and put behind it one of the baddest rock and roll singers ever. But he wants to call himself Lame Staley. Lame. That is lame. Great name, but Jack's with the knife. Yeah, maybe. Jackass. That's the dude that lived right behind him, I think. That had a perfect shot. What are we dealing with? What are we dealing with? A man and a woman in a relationship, even young teenage 25-year-old, if they were dating, maybe she was calling her ex-boyfriend. Maybe the guy she was calling was the dude that lived behind her that had a perfect shot, a line of sight right into her bedroom. Did they maybe almost like what was that movie with Kirk Douglas or whatever, or Michael Douglas, Infatuation, or what was it called, where he was dating a woman, but they would do sexual things. She would hire, or she would get like a hotel next across the street from where he was, and then have. It was some movie where she would be very seductive in the window as he watched, across the street or from a distance. Could it have been something like that? We're not sure. We don't know. I know this much. It's drove us all batty. Complete, right? We don't know. Every day there's someone new. I'm still looking at that food truck video. Uh, there's just something about the food truck video. A couple of the people that walked up that just didn't. Now, either the girls were making it obvious that they were there, either being loud or obnoxious or whatever, or maybe one of these guys that was tracking them through a phone app, whether it be Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever. And the hoodie guy was just there at the wrong time and took the blame. They're all friends with him, but yet he's a crazy killer. They show up at the food truck together. Jack's in the middle between two of them, right? They know him. That he's on their social media, possibly dated before or whatever. They know him. They're hanging out. So why wouldn't they, as soon as they walked up into a crowd, screamed for help? Why didn't they do that? If they were so scared, why didn't they say, help, call the police, somebody's trying to kill us or stalking us? They didn't. Why? I don't know. But I know Kaylee was on the phone the whole time in that food truck video. She didn't put that phone down for 1 second. Here's the thing, they got to find out who they were talking to and track the phones. Why? Because it's possible she was texting somebody that really wasn't her, or really wasn't the person she thought it was. And it's a good possibility that one of them people in the food truck video were actually there communicating with her and watching them through the video or through the app. And I also do think that hoodie guy could have turned his hat around and put his hoodie up to signal that it was a go. If it was something more devious, right? And I'm not mad at people are all pissed off. Well, why are they looking at the family? Well, that's natural. The government is going to look at the family right off the bat. So that's normal. If they thought it was the family, they probably would have already had them locked up, right? You would think by now. So it's normal for them to look at the family. And and sometimes they get lucky, and it is a family member. When Jack noticed camera, Tony Martinez says when Jack noticed camera, he puts up his hat and hood. Yeah, it does look like that. It does look like that. Once he notices a camera, he put up his jacket, hoodie, turned his hat around. But he's been there numerous times. He knew there was a camera there. He's been there before. They watched that truck live feed or whatever on the internet. He knew there was a camera there because he's been there before. You would think, maybe it was just real cold that night. And then you got tank top guy and shorts guy who shows up out of the blue in a tank top and shorts, right? Well, most people are thinking, well, he must have just been doing something or whatever, or lived right down the street or whatever. Or he was dressed to kill, meaning he wouldn't have that much, even if he got blood on him, he'd be able to wash it off and he wouldn't have to get rid of very many clothes because most of the blood would have been able to be washed off in either a stream, a creek. They got to check and see if there's a stream or a creek around there behind that house or anywhere around there. I didn't think about that, but maybe. We don't know. Everyone's suspect, right? All innocent, but yet suspects. Yeah, the one guy in the black sweatshirt, he don't put up his hoodie. He stands back there. He's back by Jack, right? And he just stands there and watch. And then he moves a little bit closer to the girls, but he never orders food. He turns and looks the other way. I know what dude you're talking about there. I was checking him out too. Did Jack succumb to evil? Maybe. Love will make you do crazy things. It will. I've been in love before, broke down and cried. But you have to know when to walk away. That's what I'm trying to tell the younger generation. I know you spent years with the woman. You might have a kid with the man or whatever. But if it's no good, it's no good. You walk away. You're gonna find another woman. Plus, today they have these ladies of the night. You can get a woman or whatever. You don't kill, you know, and that's what jealousy and love and madness will do. You know, it it will. And they were beautiful girls. You know, they were beautiful young ladies. So yeah, you know, if he could have succumbed to evil. Yeah. Would it put it past? Well, hey, the Bible wrote about it, right? We've been brainwashed our whole lives that the devil is real and God and everything. You want us to believe the Bible, then is there a chance that the devil possessed them? That's a whole nother video for another day. You know, if the devil ain't real, then whatever these people are doing is evil. And if you don't believe in evil, then it's bad. It's not good. You know, you don't just wake up one day and slaughter 5 people, right? I mean, I've been pissed. I've lost in love. I've lost everything I have. I don't even talk to 2 of my kids. But not once did I ever wake up and think I was going to kill her. You know, that's just mad. You just don't wake up and kill 4 people. You, you just, people do it, but they got problems or mental problems, or they just sold their souls to the devil and just let evil come in and they have no remorse. They don't, that's why rapists That's why I say I can work with people that might have raped or might have done something once and then turned their lives around and changed. But the people we're dealing with, they can't change. They've been doing it so long, folks. They make money off of it. They they live and breathe it. They're nut jobs. They're sick in the head where they see little kids sexual. It's almost like we're living back in the days of when Jesus was here. That's what they did back in the days. They sold little kids for sex slaves and stuff. So if it happened back then, well, we might just be having another go around of history where these people got problems and they see little kids as sexual older women. I don't know. Who wants a young kid? Good God, are you kidding me? I got my nephew for a week and I'm driving myself crazy. I'd babysit my nephew for a couple days and I'm bouncing off the walls. You know, they might be. Who knows? We don't know. You know, let me read my chat. Tony Martinez says, when girls leave, he leaves. His alibi is he drove 5 hours away. Yep, to his mother's cabin. Yep. People are saying that he left to Africa. I seen that video too. I threw in the little part where he left Africa and now belongs to the Cucamonga cracker killer tribe in Africa. We don't know if he left Africa. For all I know, is the police might have been on him right away and got all his phone data and his DNA, and it don't match, and they cleared him. No, possible. We don't know. Oh, Tia Dash is here. Hello, Tia. There's another great lady in the crime community. But we really don't know, folks. Give it time. Let the police do their job. Everybody is suspect until the case is closed. We're still dealing with the John Ramsey case, the John Bonet Ramsey case. That was brought up in this case, in the Idaho 4. In another video I was watching, are we dealing with another John Bonet case where all evidence is pointing towards there was nobody in the house or they were there already waiting in the house? And that's very possible, folks, that there was somebody already in that house waiting for them when they got home. Maybe someone signaled them. Maybe somebody let them in. I was dating a woman one time, and we got real close, and she was telling me that she lived with some people, and one of the girls that they hung out with got jealous because the girl I was at that time dating, but when this happened to her, I wasn't dating her. But she said that she was asleep and someone that she had as a roommate let the girl in. And as she was asleep, she got attacked by that woman, busted her nose and did all kinds of stuff. And I felt horrible. But that just goes to show. You got to be really careful on who you trust. You think you're going to bed, you've been roommates with somebody for so long and whatever, and then something goes bad or whatever, and the next thing you know, you're in a dead sleep. You have no idea what happens, and you're getting attacked. That must have been very frightening for her. I felt for her. I felt for her. It was horrifying for her. I can see how it was. you know. But That just goes to show, were they sleeping and someone let the killer in, thinking everything was going to be okay? You know, they all knew each other or whatever. We don't know. Very well could be. Just as Janie says, Tony, which Jack you think? Jack Showalter. Oh, Jack Showalter. I'll tell you what, these kids, you see some of the photos of these young ladies that's involved in this case, and these young men must have been gods on the campus. Now, these were some beautiful young ladies. Uh, these guys must have had egos that were just unbelievable. I know I would have, you know. And I know another thing too. It's kind of crazy that Jack didn't answer the phone. Supposedly, Kaylee called him 6 times and he didn't answer the phone. The guy that lives with him says he was sleeping upstairs, right? Who don't answer a phone? When you're that age, you're dating a woman that beautiful, you answer the phone, right? You're that crazy in love with her or whatever, and she's knock dead gorgeous or whatever. Usually, 9 out of 10 guys, late at night, you get a call from a woman you're dating or an ex. You know what that is, right? You answer the phone. He didn't. 6 times they called, supposedly. No answer. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting theory. Yeah, they must have been. These are just my opinions. If I upset anybody, my apologies. I'm just going through all kinds of scenarios and being that at once I was a young man, you know, and dated a beautiful woman. Uh, and yeah, they called late at night. You answered the phone. At least I did, you know. Uh, but every man is different and every relationship is different, right? I think Jack Decor called himself 6 times after he killed the girls. Justice Janie, you might be right. They'd have to get her phone information. They'd have to get his phone information. If they communicated 6 times before the murders, then that's out. If Jack was getting messages sent from her after the point of death that they were killed, but yet he's still getting messages, then something's up. Then Justice Janie, bingo, you hit it right on the nail. Then it's possible he did kill her and had her phone. And the text messages were sent to him to make it look like he was sleeping or somewhere else and not there, right? Good point, Justice Janie. And we've seen that in what other case on YouTube? Does anyone know? Anyone in my chat know what case that the girl was dead, but the boyfriend continued to use the phone? Anyone? 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 The Gabby Petito case, where Brian Laundrie had her phone. And some people did make that point, and I was one of them. She could have been dead for a while, and he had the phone the whole time, making it look like she was alive. And that's possible. So Janie, Justice Janie, gets a star for bringing up a good point. It could actually been the killer that was sending the text to make it look like they had an alibi. I wasn't there. They were sending me text, right? Yeah. Interesting case. We should lock down all of Idaho. But the White House called me and said I can't do that. So, Pentagon too. What do you mean shut down? We're going to lock down Idaho. Man, they gave me trouble when I wanted to lock down Indiana for the Delphi case. But you know how the government is, Mr. Kramer. You can't be shutting down those states. No, I don't know. I don't know. One time I called the Pentagon, wanted to know if I can use a couple war dogs, jet planes. They're like, no, Mr. Kramer, you can't do that. All right. Okay. I did. People don't believe me. Only certain people know the truth. They're like, oh, no, he did. Yeah, I mean, we need support out here. No, we need support out here. We're looking for people. We need equipment. We need eyes in the sky. And I do want to give a shout out to the Texas Police Department that did find that little girl out there that was kidnapped by the FedEx driver. And I do want to say to them, that police department, they did a good job. They went off of what the mother said. The mother said that her and her little daughter had an argument, and her little daughter stormed off outside into the yard. And the police did exactly that. They set up a perimeter and started on foot looking for that young little lady around her house and in that area within 14 minutes. And they had no clue that a federal delivery truck, FedEx, kidnapped her. They had no clue of that at the time. They did what they got on it right away. And I bet if they would have known, they would have put a bolo out on that FedEx truck, and they would have found her right a lot quicker, possibly alive. But we really don't know that because we don't know. I'm just saying they did a good job. They were looking in a close area, a circumference that if that little girl was on foot, she would not, within the time she came up missing, she would not have been able to cover that much ground in that time. So that's one way of them determining that, well, she could not have made it that far in that amount of time. So there must have been foul play. Either someone kidnapped her or, I mean, they did a good job, I think. All right. Anybody got any questions? Anyone? Oh, I'm getting old. Oh. Yeah. All right. Anybody got any questions about anything? Where do we go from here? Well, they're all suspects. Everyone in the food truck, even could it have been a woman? That's a big talk. Could it have been the roommates? Could it have been a woman that did this kind of damage? I highly doubt it, but I have seen some crazy women that have been broken up and psycho madmen. You don't think you got to worry about a woman being crazy, but we're seeing a lot of that. Just my opinion. It's hard to trust somebody to fall asleep with someone and not wake up, with the woman nudging you on the shoulder, and the lights are all dark, and all you see is a silhouette of something in her hand, and you're like, what is it, honey? And then did you cheat on me? No, honey, what's that in your hand? It looks like my, these are the things hey, this is madness. Yeah. nightmares of that. I don't know. Just be safe, folks. What can you do? We don't know. Who did it? We don't know. It could be anybody. If we had the crime scene photos, if we had the DNA they had, if we had the phone records, all the videos from every store that they passed by on the way home or that day or whatever, then we might have a better chance of solving it. But being that we're just YouTube creators and YouTube couch potatoes, uh, we don't have that kind of evidence. So we got to sit and wait. And it's only been 3 weeks, 4 weeks into the case with all the info that they need to get, data, test, toxicology reports, everything. It's probably going to take a little while before they figure this one out, but they'll get them. They'll get them. They'll get them. It's just going to take some time. All right, anybody? Press, Congress, Senate, White House? Anyone? Any questions out there? Anybody? Anyone? FBI, CIA? Anyone? Yeah. Anyone? No, Biden, quit calling me. You're not getting no more money until you fix the illegal alien thing and finish the wall that Trump started building. And no more money. Nothing. Nobody. We got to worry about America. We got people dying, all over the place. People coming in from all over the place. We got to shut everything down. I got reports that our old friend CB19 is back. It's like an outbreak movie with Dustin Hoffman. Well, that's back again. Our old friend Mata. Cripe. I don't know. All right, folks. Have a great night. Be safe. Feel free to comment on my video afterwards. What you guys think. Even if it is, you're an idiot, Johnny. Give up the crime. Hey, that's your right to think that. It's your right. You got to make some fun of it too, folks. If you don't, it'll drive you nuts. Literally, you'll be having nightmares. It'll drive you nuts. It'll drive you kooky. You'll get PSD or PTD or whatever the heck they call it. Yeah, very possible. Very stressful. Very mind blowing. Murders, ugly, gruesome. Yeah. Some of us would say it'd make a great movie. It would. But then you're profiting off of 5 people that were brutally slain. So, I don't know. Anyone else? Anything? Nothing? Nothing? All right. Just checking. Want to make sure. I hope everyone has a great night. Be safe. Love one another. Keep an eye on your kids. It's a horror movie, right? It's a horror movie. It's just gruesome what happened to them young ladies and so many other men and women in our country and children. I don't know. I'm just like the rest of you folks. Everyone snaps, right? Everybody has a meltdown. Everybody has a nervous breakdown. I'm human too. I've been there, folks. Thank God I didn't hurt myself or anybody. Thank God for that. You got to be strong. The devil's going to tempt you with money. He's going to tempt you with beautiful women. He's going to tempt you with all kinds of stuff. You got to be strong. Around here, we don't worship the devil. I only know how to worship God. Amen to that. Glory be to God. All glory goes to God. Amen. Be safe. Thank Justice Jane, Cheryl Stratovidin, Tony Martinez, Lame Staley. Somebody change his name, please. Lane Staley was one of the greatest singers at that time. And if he was alive today, who knows how good he would have been if he was cleaned up. Who else do I want to say? Oh, hey, VH Samples stopped in. Paul Derenian, 2004. I think that's about it. So you folks have a great night. Thank all them folks for stopping in here. Remember, here on this channel, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. These are only my theories and thoughts. And yeah, I don't have the proof. The government does. We're waiting to see it as citizens. That's all we could do is wait and stay out of their way and let them do their job. That's it. You folks have a good night.